fucking dealing with. Don't go anywhere, please. I'm going to send this to everybody, and you know that's not me. On occasion, I do that. I've done that the last couple days, but this video needs to be seen. This is what we're fucking dealing with.
Well, Trump just announced that Charlie Kirk did pass. No, he didn't pass. He was fucking murdered. So here's my message to the President of the United States. I'm not going to say that I speak for everybody else or anybody else. But as a taxpaying citizen of this country who has spent years being attacked by the vile left, we want true justice. So give us the green light or handle it yourself with the military. Each and every one of them. All of them. We want public executions because you see it hasn't been freedom for all in this country over the last 5+ years. This country has been ran through by the left. We have been forced into silence or threats of our lives being taken from us. Some have actually lost their lives due to that, the latest being Charlie Kirk. So I ask, give us the green light or do it yourself. But one way or another, we aren't living with the vile left anymore. And if anybody thinks that this is going to scare us into hiding or being quiet, it just did the opposite. I do hope you handle them swiftly, because one way or another, there's no going back. There is no peace. It's over.
Tell me that that was not a direct threat on anybody. Anybody that's a Democrat or left-leaning or votes for Democrats.
In fact, I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, but think about it. I think that, and you guys should laugh, it should be public, it should be quick, it should be televised. By the way, you could fund the government
to watch it.
You could have brought to you by Coca-Cola. And no, I'm not kidding.
The guy who killed that Ukrainian girl on the train needs to be publicly executed. He offed that girl in public. So he needs the same execution. Life in prison isn't gonna do it. He does not deserve life in prison. They need to execute him publicly, and they need to sell tickets for it. They need to sell fucking tickets for it. And then all the money that comes from the tickets need to be sent to that girl's family. Every fucking dollar. She escaped a war-torn country to come here and die on a fucking train by a dude that was arrested 14 fucking times previous and was let loose because of liberal policy. Honestly, I'd even go a step further and say that this woman's death is the fault of liberals. Liberals, it is your fucking fault that she died. Her blood is on your fucking hands. If you give mercy to the guilty, then that is cruelty to the innocent.
So Charlie's killer has been caught. Some 22-year-old dweeb, some theater kid who managed to kill a man far greater than he could ever be. What comes next? Well, this is extremely simple. He's now been apprehended. Now that he's been apprehended, he should be interviewed publicly. And the name of every single inspiration that comes out of his mouth, when we ask him why he believed what he thought about Charlie, all of the liberal media, all of the left-wing influencers, all of his friends, anybody who told him bad things about Charlie, every single name he says, they are all in a RICO case and they also go to jail. He is then thrown in a cell, and the only way he can get food in this barren landscape is by carving the word sorry into his own skin with a knife. Eventually, when he's run out of skin to carve, we're going to line him up and shoot him in the fucking neck. And if anybody at home has a problem with this, I'll take the shot myself. We'll put him on a post. We'll stand him up there, 200 yards, the exact same rifle with the exact same ammunition, exact same for karmic retribution, and we take out his fucking vocal cords. Justice is done. And if any of these other liberal pieces of shit feel like they can go around and murder people purely because they cannot handle combat in the realm of ideas, they can meet the exact same end that they inflict on people which are far greater than them. Enough is enough.
We feel so compassionate because you see the mental health crisis happening.
Exactly.
And it's not our job. We shouldn't have to live in fear. Put them in a mental institution, put them in a jail.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Yeah, Brian.
Hey, shalom, shalom. Keepers of sheep. Brother Kashai, back with another lesson. Lord will, this video is edifying. All right. Before we begin, I would like to first start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right. And today's lesson will be titled, Public Execution Will Come Back in a Major Way. All right. And as you can see, today's lesson is inspired by a few clips played at the beginning of the video. All right. And as you can see, you have many of these Edomites, all right, many of these so-called white people are calling for public execution. All right, they're wanting to bring back public execution. All right, and for both the left and the right. All right, dealing with the Democrats, the Republicans. Right, these people want blood, man. All right, these people are ready to take matters in their own hand, as you can see. All right, and honestly, it's not safe for anyone. All right, not, of course, not you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but as well, the so-called white people, right, in other nations, all right? These devils want blood, man, all right? And you have to remember, all right, this is the nature, all right, of the so-called white man. This is his nature, all right, killing, murdering, all right? This is how he's conquered, America, all right, the land we're in today, all right, and many other lands through murder, all right, through killing, all right, public execution, all right. This is how this devil get down, all right. His blessing is the sword. We have to remember that, going back to Jacob and Esau was a cunning hunter, all right. So he's always been good with the sword. He's always been good with blood, all right. Go look at Cain, for example, who slew his brother, all right. Yeah, man. So, this is not, again, this is not just this is not the first time, all right. It's not the last time that, they're gonna call out for this, all right. We're looking at a purge, all right. Just like the movies, that we're coming into a time where it's gonna be like the purge but worse, all right. So just as we so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, were publicly executed, all right, in the time of slavery, in front of the entire city, all right. Not just us, but it was, of course, they slew their own, all right. I guess this is their way of making America great again. So, just a couple precepts to make the point, man. And Lord will, this video is edifying, right? I just want to get this in Isaiah first, just because there's division, all right, and of course it starts, a house divided cannot stand. So that's just what we see. We see, all right, the Egypt, all right, Babylon is being divided, all right. Isaiah 19:1 to read, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. This is the point. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, and this is what we see on a small scale, all right, and even on a larger scale, dealing with different the other countries, all right. But as of here in Egypt, all right, Babylon, aka America, you see Egyptian versus Egyptian, all right. Yeah, Egyptian, all right. Well, who are the modern day Egyptians? These so-called Americans, man. All right. So it says, I will say Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. All right, meaning civil war is on the rise, man. All right. And, history is just repeating itself. Public executions, civil wars, race wars. This is not the first time that this country has seen bloodshed on a mass level, all right, dealing with civil war, race war, right? He says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. All right. And it says 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And that's what you're seeing on the left hand, man. There's a lot of witchcraft going on, because ultimately what's happening, all right, it can't be stopped, all right, through the spirit. It can't be stopped by man. All right, matter of fact, let me grab a precept real quick, because of course, while these things are happening, all right, on a carnal level, ultimately things are being moved and shaped through the spirit. All right, hopefully you can find this precept I'm looking for. Bear with me. Yeah, Isaiah, so that me Isaiah, I can start at 1, but 3 is the point. And it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. It says, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord for. So this nation, all right, America, all right, their philosophy, all right, their go-to is in God we trust. That's what's on the dollar bill. But it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, all right, and that stay on horses and trust in chariots. So these people, they never trusted in the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They never seek the Lord, all right. They seek their idols, all right, JC, all right, and many other idols and false gods, man. They never seek the true, all right, Holy One of Israel, all right. It says, yet he is wise, all right, yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will rise against the house of the evildoers, all right, and against the help of them that work iniquity. All right, so for many years, all right, America has trusted in what? Their military, all right, their military might, their sword, okay, their technology, right, their satellites, okay. They never sought out the Lord, right? And we'll go back to what was that? Isaiah 19 in just a second, all right. But 3 is the point. It says, now the Egyptians are men, all right, and not God. So while these things are happening on a carnal level, all right, as men, killing men, all right, men, invading one another and making war. Ultimately, these things are being moved by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Meaning these things, all right, they can't be stopped by men. All right, men can't say what he will and won't do. Roughly paraphrasing, a man's goings is of the Lord. All right, how can he understand his own way? And many other precepts, how, the Lord, the king's heart is in the hands of the Most High, right? So it says, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their houses and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that hoping, all right, shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. All right. And it reminds me of that precept, the blind leading the blind. All right, because on both sides you have the blind leading the blind, man. And they all shall fall into a ditch, right? Because ultimately, these people have trusted in carnal things. They trusted in man. All right, roughly paraphrasing. The Lord says, trust not in man. All right. These people have trusted in Trump, all right, the president. All right, the Democrats, the Republicans. They trusted in the left hand, the right hand. They trusted in this system, man. All right, they set themselves up to fail ultimately, right? So let's go back to Isaiah 19. 3. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail. All right, there's that word fail again. So these people, man, let's just grab that. They shall fall into a ditch. All right, because it's just the blind leading the blind, man. All right. Matthew 15:14 says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch. So So the leaders of this world are blind. All right. They don't have eyes to see and ears to hear. They don't understand that, what's happening can't be prevented by man. All right. It can't be stopped by man. All right. It's not even the will of man. Right. So 3, it says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. All right. Meaning, all their crafty counsel, going back to the book of Psalms. All right. They made crafty counsel against thy hidden ones, roughly paraphrasing. It says, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. So meaning their NWO, all right, their New World Order, all right, every plan they had to, keep us, the children of Israel oppressed, all right, those plans will fail, all right. It says, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards, all right, meaning that they're seeking out the left hand. All right, they're seeking out spiritual things also, but all right, those things are also controlled by who? The Heavenly Father. All right, so they're seeking after their own delusion. All right, they're seeking after their own destruction. Right. We can read 4, and then we'll leave off on 4. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Who is the cruel Lord? So today that cruel Lord will be your president. All right, Donald Trump. All right. It says, and a fierce king shall rule over them. So who will be the king of America today? All right. Who's the elected president? All right. Who have the people, all right, elected as president to rule over them? All right. To what? Ultimately make America great again. Right. And that alone in itself is witchcraft. Right. I think the elder Yashawamba, all right, GMS Dallas, he went into that, how that word MAGA, him and the other brothers went into how that word MAGA ultimately goes back into some form of witchcraft, right? It says, saith the Lord of hosts, right? So ultimately these people have trusted in the left hand, all right, the left hand to save them, all right? Let's grab 2nd Ezra 16 and 71. It says, because once they see that, their left hand is not working for them, all right, ultimately they're going to go to a carnal state, all right, they're going to rely on the flesh, they're going to rely on their own strength, all right. He says they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And who are those that fear the Lord? All right, his chosen, man. All right, the elect. All right, because many of us also will face persecution. All right, public persecution. So again, 2nd Ezra 16:71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none. All right, meaning again both sides. You have your left hand and your right hand. So not only will it be so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, but many other nations also will be anybody who stands in the way, all right, of this NWO, right? Anybody who stands in the way of their agenda, their 2030 agenda, right? It says, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, so, people are going to be in a state where they will do anything to make America great again. All right, and if that results in, killing, or that results in bloodshed, all right, then so be it. All right, these people want peace. All right, they ultimately want to make America, all right, this thriving, glorified country again. All right, this strong country. All right, but this is the end of that. All right, this is the end of a rulership. This is the end of a kingdom. All right, so we can't, expect anything else. All right. 2 Ezra 15:15. And it reads, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand." All right. And again, that's how this devil rules, by the sword. All right. So now they're taking a sword against each other, one another. All right. That's that division in the earth, man. All right. That's that. Okay. Let's grab that. If Satan be divided against Satan, all right, or if a house be divided, bear with me. Mark 3:25. And it says, matter of fact, I started 23. It says, "And he called unto them, it's like he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand." All right, so this kingdom, it cannot stand, meaning it will never be great again. All right, it says, "And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end." All right. So that's what we see, man. We see the end of Esau. This is the end of his kingdom, end of his rulership, man. All right, roughly paraphrasing, for Jacob is the beginning of Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, let's get 27. It says, "No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house." All right, so that's what you see, man. All right, that strong man was once Esau. He's being bonded. All right, and hey, we're seeing his end. We're seeing his fall. All right before your eyes, man. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Right. What else? Let's get this Matthew 24. And this is good. We start at 7, and it reads, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake." All right. And that's the time we're coming into, man. All right. Let's get 6. Let's get 10. It says, "And they shall be many offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another." And that's what you're seeing, man. People are beginning to hate, all right, each other. They beginning to hate anybody against their way of living or their way of thinking. All right. And ultimately, all this is centered around who? All right, the nation of Israel, the men of the Lord, because ultimately we're standing in the way, all right, of that new world order of making America great again, all right, by chanting and prophesying the downfall of this wicked kingdom, right? And, right now it doesn't seem that way, all right, but these devils, they have works and plans to come for the men of the Lord, all right? But right now they're fighting one against each other. Revelation 12:12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." All right, so the devil knows that he hath but a short time. All right, and because he's gonna see that the left hand is not working for him anymore. All right, that spiritual wickedness around the left hand is not working for him. All right, that witchcraft it wore off. All right, the people are not not everyone anyway, but the elect. All right, and those who have eyes to see have the witchcraft has worn off, man. Right. Psalm 17:13, and we'll close out. Matter of fact, no, we'll grab one more, but this is Psalm 17:13. It reads, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, right? Cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." All right, so ultimately, Esau, he won't, he's not gonna get everyone like he would want to. All right, he wants to destroy all the nation of Israel, because going back to the book of Psalms, all right, they crafted counsel. All right, their agenda was to cut off everyone. All right, cut off that whole, cut off all of Israel. All right, make the name of Israel and no more remembrance. Right, but ultimately that's not the will of the Heavenly Father. All right, let's get this in Revelation 20:4, and we'll close out. Revelation 20:4, and it reads, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Mashiach 1,000 years." All right, so some of us will be beheaded. All right, some of us will face public persecution. All right, and but also, all right, we will reign with the Lord for 1,000 years. All right, those are the elect men. All right, that may have to face that public persecution for not worshiping the beast in his image and receiving his mark. All right. So hey, man. Once again, Lord will, this video was edifying. Until next time, I'd like to close out by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, and Shalom to the hopeful elect.